is Valley News Live at 4.
We start with breaking news out of Moorhead this afternoon. Thanks for joining us this evening. I am Nishay Taylor. The Moorhead Police Department is holding a press conference at 4:30 today to release more information about 7 people who died in a Moorhead home on Saturday. Police say they will be discussing the latest findings from the autopsies, including a recent blood analysis. Stay with us for the latest details on Valley News Live at 5. We will also be streaming the press conference live on our Facebook page and on our website at valleynewslive.com. And new information on a scary situation in South Fargo. 2 people were rushed to the hospital this morning after dangerously high levels of carbon monoxide were found in a South Fargo apartment complex coming from the building's boiler room.
We opened their mechanical room and we were getting readings over 1,600 parts per million, which is almost very bad, fatal.
Crews say they were called just after 11 this morning to 4751 46th Street South for a welfare check. Fargo police say a person was found unresponsive in their apartment and was taken to the emergency room along with another tenant in the unit above. Fire officials say both victims' units were directly above the boiler room. Their conditions are still unknown at this time. And 1 person is dead after a house fire in Frazee, Minnesota. Emergency crews were called just after 2 a.m. in rural Rochert. The sheriff's office says when first responders arrived, the structure had already collapsed. The person who died was found in the collapsed home. Their name has not been released. Investigators are still trying to determine the cause of that fire. 2 people are critically hurt after their SUV was hit by a train. The Otter Tail County Sheriff's Department says it happened at a railroad crossing near Parham, Minnesota yesterday afternoon. The crash report says Jonathan Shaw was crossing the tracks when his vehicle was hit by the train. Shaw and his passenger Travis May of Audubon were rushed to the hospital with significant injuries. Just a few days before the holiday, and it's already a white Christmas outside. Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson is here with our forecast. Hutch.
Oh, there is a lot of weather going on, Nishay. As we close out our weekend, we have a chance of snow tonight, another one on Christmas Day, and another one into the weekend after Sunday and into Monday. So several rounds of snow possible. We're going to add to the white in your holiday as we take a look at quiet conditions. Now in the FM area, snow developing out in western Dakotas, and the oil patch will continue spreading eastward for this evening and into the overnight. Now here's what you could expect. We're talking 1 to 3 inches, mainly north of Highway 2 along the international border there. So there'll be some slippery roads for your Thursday morning commute up north. Down south will be much quieter with temperatures in the teens. Look at this, even climbing temperatures into the nighttime hours thanks to clouds building in and the wind that will be from a milder direction. Now we do have those changes. First alert weather days declared for the weekend. That's Saturday for round 1 of a 2-round weekend storm. The second round comes Sunday into Monday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all first alert weather days. We've also called one for later next week for our first Nishay real taste of Arctic tooth chipping cold. Details in just a few minutes.
That sounds interesting.
Yes.
All right. Thanks so much, Hutch. A 7-vehicle crash backed up traffic on I-94 West for more than an hour last night and happened around 6 p.m. near University Drive. North Dakota Highway Patrol says one of the vehicles lost control and crossed 3 lanes of traffic. This caused a chain reaction of other vehicles to brake and lose control. No one was injured in this incident. And in the light of seasonal increase in accidents, the North Dakota Highway Patrol wants to remind you to obey the speed limit. Drive with caution during poor weather conditions. Leave more distance between you and other vehicles and turn on headlights when it's snowing. The man who blew the whistle on a scheme to double bill Minnesota police and sheriff departments has settled a lawsuit. The civil lawsuit alleged that Nelson Auto Center of Fergus Falls still owed money to the state and more than 200 law enforcement agencies across Minnesota in the wake of a double billing scandal first exposed more than 4 years ago. The settlement is for $1.1 million, with nearly half being refunded to taxpayers. Nelson Auto said in a statement it already repaid all it owed, but made the business decision to settle the case to avoid the cost of further litigation. We'll have the full story tonight on Valley News Live at 6. We know that the most wonderful time of the year can also lead to a lot of stress. A new survey finds unrealistic expectations for the holidays are stressing out both parents and kids.
A lot of them feel like that has a negative impact on their child's enjoyment of the holidays, and that's just so unfortunate.
The poll shows nearly a third of parents are stressed during the holidays by extra shopping, balancing finances, and especially keeping their family healthy. Moms are twice as likely as dads to experience high stress, and 1 in 5 parents believe their stress negatively affects their kids during the holiday season. NHL players haven't taken part in the Winter Olympics since 2012, and hockey fans are going to have to wait until at least 2026 to see them participate again. The league announced that players will not be headed to Beijing Winter Olympics in February. The league had until January 10th to make a final decision without any financial penalties. The decision comes on the heels of a massive COVID-19 outbreak across the league. For Americans stressing about having to start paying on student loans again soon, there's some good news coming out of the White House. The Biden administration extended a student loan moratorium that has allowed millions of Americans to put off debt payments during the pandemic. Under the action, payments on federal student loans will remain paused through May 1st. Interest rates will remain at 0% during that period, and debt collection calls will be suspended. Those measures have been in place since early in the pandemic, but were set to expire January 31st. With the Omicron variant continuing to spread rapidly, the CDC reported more than 288,000 new COVID-19 cases in the U.S. on Monday, the second highest one-day total of the pandemic. President Biden announced a wide range of steps to slow the spread, including more testing. Here's the latest reports from Washington.
People in Independence, Missouri lined up in their cars to get tested for COVID as cases surge nationwide.
I started getting a sore throat, so I thought, well, this would be a good idea.
In the New York area, more than 90% of cases are tied to the highly transmissible Omicron variant.
So we focus, obviously, every day on the COVID crisis, on the challenge of Omicron and how we overcome it. And we have a lot of tools to fight back.
To help with long lines at COVID testing sites, the Biden administration will distribute 500 million at-home COVID testing kits. They'll also send military help to overwhelmed hospitals. New CDC data shows the hospitalization rate among unvaccinated Americans climbed to 67.8 per 100,000, compared to only 3.9 among vaccinated Americans.
If you're not fully vaccinated, you have good reason to be concerned. You're at a high risk of getting sick.
And with just days until Christmas, there are concerns positive cases may cause airline labor shortages. Delta's CEO asked the CDC to reduce the recommended quarantine time from 10 days to 5 for those who are vaccinated.
We're actively examining those data now and doing some modeling analyses to assess that, and we anticipate that we'll have some updates soon.
The CDC says the best way to protect yourself this holiday season is to get vaccinated and boosted, and make sure those you are with are also vaccinated and boosted. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
Almost 40% of the U.S. population is not vaccinated, and only 30% of eligible Americans are currently boosted. Just hours ago, U.S. health regulators authorized the first pill to fight COVID-19. It's a Pfizer drug that Americans will be able to take at home to head off the worst effects of the virus. The drug is a faster, cheaper way to treat early COVID-19 infections, though initial supplies will be extremely limited. All of the previously authorized drugs against the disease require an IV or an injection. Merck is expecting their pill to be authorized soon, but Pfizer's drug may be the preferred option because of its mild side effects and effectiveness. The U.S. government has agreed to purchase enough of the medication to treat 10 million people. Oxford University and AstraZeneca are taking preliminary steps to make a vaccine for the Omicron variant in case it is required for the next phase of the pandemic. Preliminary data has shown Omicron is more effective than previous variants at evading neutralizing antibodies offered by COVID-19 vaccines. The fast-spreading Omicron variant is causing a surge in the purchasing of at-home COVID tests, so much so that CVS and Walgreens are limiting the number of tests a person can buy. CVS said it's to ensure equitable access to tests both in-store and digitally. They are limiting the number of test kits to 6 per purchase, and Walgreens is limiting customers to 4. But Americans may soon be able to get the free tests in the mail. The Biden administration announced the purchasing of a 500 million at-home rapid tests to send to people. Next at 4, last-minute shoppers are facing more challenges than usual this year due to supply chain issues.
Tonight, snow will be spreading across our international border counties, and for some of you along Highway 2, you too will see some flakes of snow for a slippery start to your Thursday. And then real wild and wintry weather takes place. Christmas Day and again Sunday into Monday, both or all 3 first alert weather days, and an Arctic Wednesday in store. I'll have all that coming up next.